Brian Page. I'm just doing my next recording. So this module is about the nervous system. So as part of the nervous system, we had to dissect a sheep's brain. So just got done with that. That was a pretty cool experience. So let's get started. So this is my name, Brian J. Page, and it is July 15th, 2021. So on the back here, I just have a list of the different structures of the brain that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to talk about the different lobes of the brain to include the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobe. We're going to talk about what gyri are and sulcus are, sulci. We're going to talk about two of the fissures, the longitudinal fissure as well as the lateral fissure. Internally, we're going to talk about the corpus callosum as well as the thalamus and hypothalamus, the midbrain, medulla oblongata, the cerebral cortex. We're going to talk about white matter. We're also going to talk about the meninges. So let's get started here. So let's see if I can get my brain. So this is the sheep's brain, and we're going to talk about the different lobes here. So there's a few different lobes, actually 4 different lobes. So the frontal lobe is in the front, obviously here, this section. The parietal lobe is up here on each side. The temporal lobe is right here. The occipital lobe is in the back of the brain here, the posterior, the occipital lobe. So gyri are the protrusions, the actually things that coil, and the sulci are the grooves in between here. So gyrus, and then the sulci is in the middle. So the longitudinal fissure is the long fissure that goes right here, longitudinal fissure. The lateral fissure is what separates the frontal lobe here from the temporal lobe here. It's the lateral fissure here. So let's split this open here and talk about, this is a sagittal section of the brain here, and the corpus callosum is right here, this white band up front, if you could see it, and that connects the 2 hemispheres of the brain. The thalamus is the main relay station, and that's right here. You can see it, the thalamus. And then the hypothalamus is right here below. It's main. That's a main gland as far as the endocrine system. The midbrain is the beginning of the. The midbrain is the beginning of the brainstem here. The pons is right here. It's the first section of the brainstem. Unfortunately, my cerebellum fell off as well as my medulla oblongata, but it's right here. This is the medulla oblongata that kind of fell off. That's connected to the cerebellum. Unfortunately, it disintegrated a little bit when I opened the package, unfortunately. So there's the pons, and then the medulla oblongata is next. The cerebral cortex is simply the outside of the brain here. The outside is the cerebral cortex. White matter is, obviously the cerebral cortex consists of gray matter. White matter are the bands underneath that contain myelin, and they connect different tracts and different communication sections within the brain. So it looks like my sheep was butting heads a lot. Looks like there's some brain damage there in the front. You could see some there. So last but not least, we're supposed to talk about the meninges. So the meninges is the outer covering of the brain, and there was actually a lot of meninges here. So that's part of it that I removed off of the sheep brain. So those are all the sections. I thought it was a good exercise. So until next time, we're going to talk about dissecting the eye of a cow. Have a good day. Thanks.